Okay. So I'm not your DJ, but I'll tell you something about design thinking today, about lean startup versus design thinking. So my name is Bartel. I'm originally from Cologne, Cologne area. I moved to Stuttgart several years ago for studying at IBM. And after during the IBM, I already felt like, okay, the world goes customer-centric or human-centered. So I went to Berlin, studied design thinking there. And since 2011, this is what I'm doing, like telling about the stuff, doing design thinking at my startups, and also yeah, working on similar stuff. So what the fuck is design thinking? So does anybody know what design thinking is? Okay, great, there's some of you. So I'll give you the next 50 minutes a short introduction, and then in between that we will make some similarities and some differences between lean startup and design thinking. So what the fuck design thinking is? So look at these beautiful girls, they're wonderful, right? But if you turn the picture around, actually they look pretty ugly. Yes, so the picture was wrong in the first place, and we believe that the mouth is the right way. But already in this picture is manipulated, and if you switch this picture, you see ugly girls. Same with these beautiful girls. This one has a wrong nose and a wrong face. Yeah? This is because our mind, our perception is always wrong, or always not real. So we have our own view on everything, and we believe, okay, this is a great picture, you know, there are girls, but if you look deeper, if you look inside, you see something different. And most of the time, we don't see the difficulties, we don't see the differences. And this is where design thinking comes into place. You want to try to focus on the reality and don't get fooled by your own ideas and imaginations. That's design thinking, basically. So, for example, this guy, he's like doing an observation, or yeah, an observation within a hospital. So he's playing a patient as a hospital. So what do you think what he's gonna see 80% of the day when he's recording this video? What do you think? What is his picture?
Ceiling.
The ceiling, yeah. So 80% of the customer's view, this is the customer, the hospital, the patient, is this picture. And it's sick. I mean, you know, when you think about it, you know, we are building hospitals for hundreds of years, and we never thought about the customer point of view. And this is totally wrong, actually. So nowadays, people started to rebuild hospitals to make it more comfortable. But, you know, with this picture, there's a long ways to go. But nobody, all the experts, they were building these hospitals, never thought about this view. And it's so simple. This is about point of view. So when you look at the human-centered design, okay, generally innovations, you find three spheres, right? You have business innovations, you have human innovation, and you have technology innovations. Yeah? So, and we in the Western world, we used to be like really good at this one, right? We are good in business making, we're doing a lot of business stuff. We're having technologies, you know, we can do rockets, we can do great software, but the human-centered is really lacking behind since a couple of years. What do you think is the last innovation we had in Germany for human-centered innovation? A German company or German system or show. It's a TV show, actually. It's Bauern sucht Frau. Yeah? Bauern sucht Frau means, or women means farmers. It's the last innovation we had here in Germany, I would say, in sense of emotions. So this is why we have to come back, and the true innovation is in the middle. The true innovation is here. But if you focus on this area, we might get wrong, you know, we might get stuck, we might don't get the real innovations. But we want to get them. This is why we try to focus on the middle. And this is why design thinking forces you to start here with the human-centered view, as I told you before. So this is the design thinking process, actually. You start here with the problem, normally. Yeah? You start with a simple question or with a problem, and then you try to emphasize on your customer. You try to find out, okay, what is his point of view, what is his feelings, what is he doing, like doing stuff like the recording, for example, or doing customer development interviews, customer conversations, and then you slowly start to define your customer, shape your customer, do a point of view or persona. We saw a persona earlier. So you're trying to define your customer or your customer segment, and if you have done this, then you start with the solutions, and only then with ideating. So design thinking is about not having an idea and saying, okay, I want to try this, I want to build this, It's about finding the problem, the real problem first. Because in the first two steps, you'll find out that the problem is a different one. You know, you're changing your problem, your focus, and your perspective. So you emphasize, define, have a point of view, and then you ideate. Ideate means like technologies like brainstorming, reverse brainstorming, some freaky stuff. You know, you come up with thousands of ideas, and then you build the solutions. You build the solutions, little solutions by prototyping. Yeah. So prototyping, paper-based prototyping, MVPs, you name it. And then you test it finally with the customers you met in the beginning, and then you may iterate a lot. So you see some similarities already between design thinking and lean startup. So this is how, when I started design thinking in Potsdam, this is how ideal design thinking space looks like. Same in Stanford in the USA, it looks almost the same. You have moving walls, a lot of creativity, a lot of post-its, you know, you have a lot of flexible chairs to move around, and everybody's standing. So space is really important to be creative. And in design thinking, you usually have also multidisciplinary teams. Teams with different people, with different perspectives, with different point of views, you know. There's one guy, he's maybe just studied ecology, she's a doctor, he's a business guy, he's a developer. And they all work together on solving someone's problem, or working with the customer. This is really important, because with all these different mindsets and skill sets, you get a kind of like a very unique team force that you can work on. And for example, this lady is perfect with customer interviews, and he is totally shy, he don't like interviews at all. But he is maybe as good in the solution phase, like all the architects actually are. If you're an architect, if you're a developer, you're always thinking about solutions. And this is what I said before, you know, in design thinking, this is why I draw the red line. You make a really difference between understanding and then thinking about the solution in a later stage. And also it's about speed, like I'm talking, how much time we have left?
No, keep going.
Okay. So, well, what you do is you're really fast in design thinking. You use speed, you use a time boxing. This little instrument is a time timer. And this will give you a time pressure on. Yeah? It tells you exactly when to go to the next phase. And you just have to stop and go to the next phase. Because when we are doing design thinking, it's really, really hard like to negotiate and discuss. And you know all the endless discussions, especially in German. The Germans, they love to discuss endless. And in design thinking, it's fast forward, just do it. Yeah? And then prototyping, like for example with Lego, we play also with Lego. And then at the end of the day, it's all chaos, because it's just a freaky day. And this is how cleats look like, and then you have to clean it up. Yeah. So this is an incubator, right? Not a startup incubator, but for babies. What do you think? How much does this cost?
A lot.
A lot. Let's say like 500,000 US dollar, $500,000. So and if you see customer centric and user centric, human centric, and you see, for example, in Africa, there's no possibility for this stuff, you know. So it's maybe a problem with electricity. There may be problems with O2 bottles you can buy. So what is the customer, how they can work with this? And this was a design thinking project in Stanford, I guess 5 years ago. And they came up with this solution called Embrace. And it's a little bag. And this little bag costs $50 US. And it has 80% of the functionalities that the incubator has. And it's a perfect fit for this environment. Because not only it's free of energy, it's free of, it's solar powered, and there's like a, how you say, the Taschenwärmer, die Knickdinger? You know what I mean? They're built in this one. So, but what's really human-centered in this case also is, in this culture, you cannot give away the baby to like some system. You know, you cannot put the baby away from the body of the mom. You know, it would rather die. They would probably leave the baby dying. And with this solution, the mom is able to like be really close to still be closer to the children. So this is one idea. Much better. Oh, how much does this cost?
2 million.
2 million, 2 to 5 million. Yeah, it's crazy. And this story goes like this. So General Electric, they invented this stuff. So like 10, 12, 15 years ago, the MRT got a Nobel Prize, whatever. And he was so proud of his solution. Yeah, it's so great. It will help a lot of people. But then he was in a hospital. He was there, and once in a day, he then saw a little kid walking, and he was crying, and he was asking, "Why are you crying? Why are you so sad?" "Oh, I have to go in this shit. You know, this is so big and loud, and as a child, I have a problem with this." And he was all like all upset, of course, and he was like, "Wow, I invented this machine, but I cannot help children with this because kids are afraid of it." So, and actually the real factor behind it is that 80% of all the children in the US, they get some medicine to keep more calm. So 80% for the little bodies have to get like this medicine. So it's a real problem. So what's again design thinking solution could be? And it was really simple. In this case, putting stickers on and working on a story of building a story around this medical procedure. So the child, it goes like this. So the child, in the evening before, she gets a book to read about like going underwater, yeah, going to see Ariel. And the next morning, she gets a little backpack on, then she goes to the hospital. Then the hospital, the doctors, they don't have normal clothes. They have like some moon stuff or some, some underwater wear. And this is the story, you build a whole story with these little stickers, and then the kid is much more calm with this, So, and the end result is that like nowadays, from 80% of the narcotics, it goes down to below 10%. So this is a real impact again with this little design thinking solution. So as I promised, I just come to the differences and similarities. Do I have 5 more minutes or what is it? 1 minute? So in design thinking, we are creative, yeah? We are crazy, we are colorful. In lean startup, you're more like data driven, right? You're more on the data. In design thinking, we start really qualitative, We do customer interviews as well as in the lean startup, but we stay this way, right? We do testing, but testing is more qualitative again. In lean startup, you're more quantitative approach. You do data, a lot of data driven decisions. Design thinking is more about like a green field, You don't know the idea yet. You don't know anything yet. You just start with a stupid problem or a question, and then go ahead and work on it. The solution can be everything. And in a lean startup, you mostly have an existing idea, or at least the first idea, and you start with the idea and then trying to find out the real problem behind it. So this is the difference. In design thinking, you do time boxing to decide on the next stage. In lean startup, you do validation. So it means in lean startup, you say, okay, well, we qualified or validated or invalidated the idea or the solution or the customer or the problem. In design thinking, it's more like time boxing. You say, okay, well, we're not done yet, but we have to go to the next stage. And if you feel like, well, this will not work, we have to jump back to the whole, to the beginning. Design thinking is more external, like you put a lot of people, for example, with teams, because you don't have this multidisciplinary team in the beginning, so you need external help. And lean startup is more in-house, so you start with 1 or 2 or 3 persons, and you're all getting the same understanding, and then just start with the lean startup methods. But there are also a lot of similarities. Oh yeah. Just keep going. So in design thinking, we call it emphasize and define. In lean startup, you hear about customer development. This is basically the matching between both. You have in design thinking, you have ideate, prototype, and testing, the 3 phases. In lean startup, it's build, measure, learn. It's almost the same. Yeah? In design thinking, we do iterations. We iterate our ideas. In lean startup, it's a pivot, change of direction. In design thinking, we build prototypes on several different meanings. In lean startup, you most likely do an MVP, a minimum viable product. Both have a strong focus on doing. It's about like going fast forward because the run rate is small. Yeah, you don't have to waste time, money, and of course both say fail fast, early, and often. So they encourage you to have a lot of learnings. And in design thinking, you also learn a lot in your process. And last but not least, get out of the building, of course. Yeah. So I deserve wearing this shirt. So Godfather Steve Blank, get out of the building. And there's some guys working on trying to fit this more together. So there's the thinking of lean design thinking. I don't think it had been made popular, but it's by Miller and Torrey, and they decided to like, where does the whole stuff fit in? So I don't want to read out to you, but what we really can see is like in the beginning, design thinking is really much common. It's really important. And then as more as you go to the building and scaling your business, as more lean startup kicks in. And this also, I believe, kind of like a process you can use. It's not true that you do it like design thinking first and doing the business model canvas and then doing the lean startup. But it's kind of like this way, right? You start with design thinking really first. You learn a lot of different types of interviews you can do, a lot of different ideation methods, and then what design thinkings don't do. This is why design thinking is sometimes not that good. They don't think about a business model. So you have a solution, and the solution sometimes is great, it's awesome, but it's not feasible. It's not viable to produce. And this is where the business model canvas, I believe, kicks in. So you put your idea in the middle or your customer segment, and then fill it out, whatever. And then you produce it and work with the lean startup method until you sell your company, right? So that's it, basically. Yeah, thank you very much.
One question.
Yes.
Design thinking seems to be very expensive. So if you do it in the beginning and have the lean startup validation process afterwards,
yeah,
it seems for me the wrong way around.
Okay. Design thinking seems very expensive on a professional level, but you can also do it as same as lean startup on a very low level, you know.
But if you need the team, the multifunctional team.
Yeah, this is limitations, of course. But you can like really start doing, so what I do in my real life is applying some strategies of design thinking. So for example, okay, I don't have the team, but at least I know how to do the customer interviews probably, without getting fooled by my own idea, by my own love of the customers. So this is what I am applying with design thinking. And there are a lot of stuff you're not able to reproduce, like as the lab you saw it. It's really hard to like build this kind of atmosphere, but at least you can use some ideas and some stuff on design thinking for your process. But it's hard. But again, design thinking, same as lean startup actually, you cannot learn it by reading books. You have to feel it, how it works right, how it looks right. And then if you get the methodology in your head, then you're able to produce in design thinking or lean startup way. And it's all about like really dividing the problem with the solution. Try to do a difference between both. And you can learn all that in November. 11th I'm going to be here, we're going to do a design thinking workshop. And I will teach you the way how to think like a designer.